Dark Souls 2 is the largest Dark Souls game by far. Whether you see that as a good thing or a bad thing, it is entirely up to you, but it is undoubtedly the biggest game of the series. And with its large size comes a lot of areas. A lot of areas that I think people often forget about or just never go to, whether the fact that they don't know it exists or they just have no reason to. So today I wanted to just go and explore each of the areas that I think that people tend to forget about or just have never known about either. Besides this little intro section I'm recording right now at the time of editing this, this will be pretty much just the recording and then my audio recorded at the time. So it's just me playing it. I don't have actually time this week to make a fully scripted challenge run. I was going to, but then I got really sick and was in a lot of pain, so I couldn't actually edit or write a script. So that video will be saved for next upload, and I just want to make this one because it's really simple. And I think you'll like it too. It's something I've actually wanted to make for a while now, but I've never really just felt like doing it because I, have these other runs. But this is basically just me playing through Dark Souls 2 and looking at a couple areas that I think are really interesting. So, enjoy! Okay, is it? No? Is it not? I can't tell. Okay, it is. Cool. I should probably turn this off. I don't know if this is going to be making it into the whatever official part of the video. I don't know if I'm going to just do it non-scripted like I am doing right now, or if it's going to be scripted and maybe I'm splicing this in. Frankly, I really don't know. That's whatever editor me wants to do. So, if you're hearing me now, that means I kept it in. But today, I want to look at the forgotten areas of Dark Souls 2. The areas that aren't, well, explored very often. But basically, in Dark Souls 2, there's a bunch of areas that I think aren't talked about. They aren't really, not necessarily well known, just not explored. They're kind of the forgotten corners of Dark Souls 2. Solar Pellets did a similar video where she would go to different parts of the map in Dark Souls 1, and I think she's done Demon Souls now too, that are just kind of odd. They don't stand out. They're kind of blank spaces. And that's not, that's kind of what this video is, but not really. I'm going to be talking about whole areas of this game that are just kind of not, you have no reason to go there in your playthroughs, and frankly, you might have never gone there on your own. So I want to look at those today and just kind of see what's kind of over there, So firstly is the Forest of Fallen Giants, which is Soldier's Rest. I'm going to be starting from the bonfire here. And pretty much it's just this section of the level. You'd usually come in over down there, and in the Scholar version, Armored Dennis will invade. He actually spawns in this room here, I want to think. Yeah. I have a fully upgraded Chaos Blade. I don't think you're going to win. In here, where Armored Dennis invades, is the seed of one of the tree giants. And I don't know, I think it's after a certain amount of invasions, this giant will produce a seed from one of the arms. Obviously, it doesn't have it right now, but this is how you get giant seeds, or seeds of giant, whatever they're called in this game. Like in Dark Souls 3, outside of Firelink, there's a giant like this. That's how you get them in Dark Souls 2, is over in this area. And I think a lot of people miss that because they honestly just kind of forget about this area. I never go to this area in any of my playthroughs. Maybe once if I'm doing a, actual playthrough. Up here is another chest that contains the hunter's gear. Along with this, a Katarina soldier will invade here, and this is how you get their armor if you don't own the DLCs. If you're playing Scholar, you have the DLCs, but if you're not, this is how you would get it. Over here is an Ironclad. And of course, I get hit. It's cool. It's cool. Oh, and all of them Yeah, and then a bunch more of them funnel out through that wall. But yeah, a bunch of ironclads, and this is definitely an area of Dark Souls 2 spam. There's no reason for be this many, I feel. This is a brickable wall. This is also the other side of the, like, one of the first areas you go to in the Forest of Fallen Giants. So that might be kind of a way for you to come over here. I should add that this area isn't accessible until after the last giant. You have to get the soldier's key to come over here. It's through a tunnel over there. I will explore that tunnel here in a minute. I probably should have done it first, but in this room, just some more hollow soldiers, an item, human effigy. But yeah, this area doesn't really have anything, unless, I mean, if you're wanting, you know, the seeds, I mean, yeah, it's a great area to get the seeds. I mean, it's the only area to get the seeds. But other than that, the gear here isn't like anything good. A few human effigies, which is really good, but trying to go through the like 3 ironclads I fought is rough. And I think there's like 4 in the base game, which is, you know, a lot more. You know, 1 more ironclad is rough, and I'm surprised I can go through this door. In this room is a bunch of skeletons. In the original, it is more soldiers and ironclads, but in the Scholar version, which is the version I'm playing on, it is just skeletons, which is one of the other few instances of skeletons in Dark Souls 2. But not really much here. Another torch. It's pretty much all skeletons. I mean, it's only all skeletons. It's really dark in this tunnel. I don't know if it's as dark as this in the original. I can't remember. But some more just useful basic goodies, you know. It's still the first area, so you shouldn't expect to be getting like some like high-end loot here. There's a summon here, but that's pretty much it. This leads out to where you would go through the fog wall. I can't open this door because I don't have the key, because I cheated. But it would just lead you to this first area. Like normal, you go through this way. If you haven't gone here, I mean, I guess check it out. It really has nothing. It is just a little bit more to the forest. So if you've been lacking on forest content and you really want to go through this next part of the Forest of Fallen Giants, go for it. Come here. This area has nothing, which I wonder if there's a out of bounds thing we could see, like where this leads to, because this does seem like it would, you know, lead to something. Too bad we can't explore this area in the memory. I feel like that would be a really cool thing, to go explore the giant's memory in there. But unfortunately, that's not a thing. One part of the Copse that I do think is quote-unquote, you know, less talked about or less forgotten, or less remembered, I guess, which is right in here. There's 2 ways. Alright, we're not going to talk about that whiff. There's 2 ways to get to it. You can either get to it from the bridge to the Executioner's Chariot, or you can fall on these mushrooms here. You would miss that platform, but there's a giant basilisk down here, like the one in Albius Keep. This one is actually replaced with, I don't know what's here in the original, but this basilisk is instead in Shaded Woods in the original, where the lion warriors are. But in this chest, probably just some basic gear. I'm about to die from poison. Oh, Ricard's rapier. Okay, so that actually is pretty good. I think, yeah, this is a hidden wall. And I'm pretty sure this would take you right out into where you'd fall down into in the Copse to get to here. Or maybe not. I don't honestly remember where this elevator takes me. Apparently a secret wall in this room, which I didn't know that existed. That is really cool. I learned something new today. Well, you know, it's Dark Souls. It's, you know, every time you play, you learn something new. Next, I do want to look at Iron Keep, though. Iron Keep is definitely an area, and that is the Belfry here. I don't think this area... This area is actually what inspired me to make this, from one of my playthroughs on the original Dark Souls game. I was doing some spice farming here, And I just don't think this area is very talked about. It is the area after Smelter Demon. You go here, and you basically have to drop down to this pit, sacrificing the rest of the area of this bonfire. So if you need a bonfire, you can choose to go here. You come up here, and you would talk to this Belfry guy. This is another area where you could join the Covenant. But you come out here, and there's a bunch of NPCs. Yeah, there's a witch there, someone here. And these guys can all drop unique gear. I believe she can drop the Black Witch Mask. It is incredibly rare, as all Dark Souls 2 drops are. But there are a bunch of these NPCs here, along with the normal little Belfry guys. But this area is really kind of just basic and bland. It's just the same floor textures, the rubble, and then the normal, tile. It's a flat area except for the little part of the roof here. It has these little, pillars, hollow pillars or whatever you want to call them. There's probably a name, but I'm blanking on it. Kind of this really odd area. What was that? The backwards hit? These guys are also pretty strong. I'm obviously using Ram's armor along with the Ivory Crown and a fully maxed out Chaos Blade, and they, still hurt. So, ouch. And you can ring this bell. This will allow you to open up the gate. Another one of these guys, a little invader version. He seems a bit stronger, I think. But they're still the same guys. It's the same one that would invade you in the other Belfry. Belfry Luna. Over here is a spice. This is a great area for spice farming. So if you're doing like a low-level magic build, or you're just low-level and you want, to use some high-level spells, this is the best place to get them. There is a dual Avalon guy. I think there's another one. At least there is in the original. Yeah, there's two of them here in the original. I guess there's just only one in Scholar. Another spice down here. Don't die. But that's pretty much the entire area. There's another spice here. So 3 runs for spice. Or 3 runs for spice. 1 run for 3 spices, and then you would bonfire aesthetic. You get a chest here, which contains something, as all chests do. Immolation, the best spell. But along with it, there is also somewhere, I think it's right out here, yeah. There's also a hidden wall, and inside this wall, there is another 2 chests. And one of these chests, which I believe, actually I don't know which one it is, so I'm not gonna make that call. Yeah, one of them contains the Black Knight Greatsword, which is just a great weapon. And the other one contains maybe a spell? No, Protective Chime and Grand Spirit Tree Shield, which is kind of odd for this area. But if you failed to grab this chest earlier, you can grab it, but it's actually a Mimic. I thought it was a Mimic. Is it only a Mimic in the original? I have learned a lot about Dark Souls 2 today, and I feel embarrassed about my lack of knowledge. For a Thunder Quartz Ring, +1. But that is the Belfry Sol area. It's really just this bland area that I don't think... I mean, you have no reason to go there, unless you're doing, 1, farming for some very specific items, spice farming, or it's like your first playthrough of Dark Souls 2 and you're kind of just exploring everything. Other than that, on any playthrough, I feel like you wouldn't visit this area. So it's just, I don't know, it's just this really weird area that I feel like isn't talked about. And obviously it's talked about for the very reason it's, bland. The gutter does seem to pretty much have one, or not pretty much have one, but does have an area that I feel like is kind of just skipped. And that is over here to the left. I have to remember how to get down here. Yeah, if you go down here, it's just basically these entire areas. I feel like these areas are kind of just not talked about in the gutter. This area contains a bunch of poison shooty things, and if you have the Forgotten Key, that's where you get Havel's armor. Okay, so once you're going across the bridge to go to the gutter like you normally would, kind of have to be careful. Stick along the edge here. There'll be an explodey guy. I don't know if he actually dies. Well, he probably fell and died. But you would get over here, and there'll be these degrading bugs. There's a chest over here with I don't actually know what it contains. But this is the, I think, only area you see these bugs besides Shulda, I want to say? Don't quote me on that. I'm not actually too sure. But inside here, oh yeah, the Wicked Eye Great Shield. Okay, I've had some of the biggest whiffs tonight, and that is embarrassing. If you go over here, I like this. There is this unique little guy. And basically, it is the only instance of this enemy, and it will basically cure your poison. I don't think you'll do that just since it's lowering. But if I was poisoned, I think it would cure me, but it would also degrade my gear. And this is the only instance of this monster. Either there's some poison moss over here, but yeah. I don't know how many people have actually seen her. I mean, obviously quite a bit have, but this weird little bug creature. You can kill her if you want to. She doesn't respawn. She drops poison moss, but that's pretty much all for the gutter. It's just this little area that, again, just kind of not really talked about. You have no reason to go here. I mean, just, little interesting things, I guess, is what this whole thing is. I don't know why I'm trying to keep justifying the point of this. You get what I'm trying to explain. I shouldn't have to keep doing this, and I don't know why I am. I'm not really having to, but, you get the idea. Now, there is a good one for Shrine of Amana, and that is the area where you get Vendrick stuff. I don't think it's very, it's just kind of odd and out of the way, so that's part of what this is. Basically, unfortunately, I don't know if I could show it, just due to me not having a Vendrick Sol. It's making a great video. Good job, Aurora. You're really good at preparing for videos and whatnot. If you cleared out the aberrations and mages without dying, this is gonna kill me. That's gonna kill me. That's gonna kill me. No. Okay. Without dying, you can get over here to these last few mages at this, halfway point. I guess this wouldn't really be the halfway point. Maybe, the 40% point. Whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to judge. It's close enough to being halfway. Maybe not. I just looked at it and it's like, no, I don't know. But take out this last mage here for simplicity's sake. And there will be this bridge kind of hidden in the water here. You could probably see some of the tiles. But there is a dragon rider across, and this same dragon rider is the one in the undead crypt, I'm pretty sure. Because it has a weird thing, after you kill Velstadt, this guy kind of just disappears. Or maybe it's after you kill Vendrick, this guy kind of just straight disappears. So I want to, for me, it seems like he's the same guy who's in the crypt. That kind of just thematically makes sense, I guess. I don't know. Call it whatever you want. Either he's the same guy. It doesn't really matter either way. It's just a dragon rider. And then you get over to this door. And I might be able to get through the door. Let me just, he has a lot of health. This would be technically the third dragon rider you fight after the first three. And yet none of them are riding dragons. You really gotta consider your occupation. If your third employee is not riding a dragon, it's like, get a better title. But I guess that might just be Vendrick's fault. Vendrick was never really a great king. Oh. Okay. Let me, uh-oh. Okay, with the power of legitimate tools, I am able to not do what it said it was going to. That is so cool. What happened to clicking despawn all enemies and everyone would be despawned? Lied to me. Oh, you know what I bet it will do? I bet I have to rest for it to work. That will probably be why. The game crashed. Oh, I love Dark Souls 2. It's... Okay, but they're not despawned. I should try resting again. Do I want to risk the crash again? Yeah, I do actually. Because I don't really want to fight through everything. Because I could have been there by now. Crash. No, we actually made it. Is everyone despawned, though? No. Okay, well... Oh, you know what? I know why. I know exactly why that didn't work. I guess I'm gonna try resetting it again, because, yeah. This is all gonna get cut out of the video anyway. No, probably now, speaking of it, my future self is gonna be like, no, I'm gonna keep it in. But now that I mentioned it, I might not. I don't know. If it's in the video, hi. Oh! Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Well, they're showing Amana. The inside scoop. That's not what I meant to do at all. Oh no. Uh-oh. Did I fucking break a character? Why would this be an option? Why would this be an option? Why would they let me do this? Please help me. I'm stuck in the void. You can see how much it takes to the Chaos Blade. It didn't even take the Dragon Rider here. That's lame. You can just see the very elongated elevator. Oh, this is the secret area that they didn't want you to know about. This is what Dark Souls 2 is meant to be played. Oh, I have to figure out how to get out of this now, don't I? Shit. Alright, this might take a minute. So, as you see, I'm back. Lesson learned, don't try and speed things up using tools you don't really understand how they work, because you will end up breaking something. And good news, everyone is gone, so there's something. So, like I was saying, if you find the bridge over here at the 35% somewhere mark in Shrine of Amana and the second third, you can come over here to this little door. Now, you will have these branches in your way, so you just cut them down, and you'll be at this door. Usually, it'll be locked, but with a tool that I do understand how it works, because it literally just says, pass through any door. We can go inside, and in here is just this little cave with a throne, very clearly too small for Vendrick to get the Soul of the King. And that is how you would make Vendrick's stuff. A chest in here. And I believe this is his armor. Yes, yeah. So if you want Vendrick's armor after you kill Vendrick, come in here, and this is how you would get it. You actually need strength to wield it, but, you know, there's Vendrick stuff, in case you wanted it. This isn't really a guide video, but, you know, I don't know, just watch the video. Also, this pillar clips into it weirdly, and I will never forgive them for that. Dark Souls 2 sucks. There is another area I like to cover, and this one is actually pretty well known, I feel, but I feel like it does deserve a spot in here, and that is the tower after the last part of Shrine of Amana. After you kill the Demon of Song, you will come over here, and there will be a statue blocking your way here. But if you come in here and go up, this is the part of the Milfanito quest line. There is another door, I think, that basically blocks you. You don't have it? Yeah, but I can just pass through it. You need to rescue all of them, and I think you need to have the... I think you need Vendrick's crown, if I'm not mistaken? I think? Don't quote me on that, but I think you do need it. I'm pretty sure. Or Vendrick needs to die. I don't know. But you get to see the entire rest of Shrine of Amana. It's definitely really pretty. I like it a lot. You can kind of just see all of it. And, you know, it's not really too special or anything. But here is where all the Milfanitos would be. And if you return to this shrine when you're not human, you can become human for free. So it's really nice. So it's definitely worth doing, especially if you're low on effigies. Coming down here on the other side of the tower is, you know, some other goodies or whatever. There's this little part here. I'm, you know, pretty sure there will be enemies here, but I, you know, kind of killed everything in front of Amana on accident. So I'm pretty sure the Milfanitos are also dead, which is why they're still singing. I don't actually know if you'll be able to hear them singing or not, but they are singing right now. Yeah, this area will have some stuff. I believe you can get like there's a pyromancy or something here. I'm not honestly too sure. Did not mean to do that. But that's really all Shrine of Amana has. I just thought I'd like to show that part off too. Because, you know, not everyone ever went there. Yeah, just, you know, again, kind of the point of the video. Yeah, that is where you get the Scorching Iron Scepter, but that is not where that is not where we're going. There is a whole other area. I just have to remember how to get to it because, well, believe it or not, the point of this video is for areas that people forget how to get to, or they, you know, just don't really go towards. And believe it or not, I forgot how to go to it because I never really go towards it. Okay, so yeah, definitely if you go down here after the second lever room, you would go, I think it would also just be right outside the foyer bonfire. Go across the comically large chain that you actually float on. It looks kind of worse than the other one. Maldron the Assassin will invade here, and he is a prick. He will constantly run away from you, kind of trying to bait you into enemies. Or, you know, backstabbing you, but little does he know, I have infinite iframes right now. So, yeah, after you hurt him enough, he will basically run down. And if you have a See the Tree Giant from Soldier's Rest like earlier, you can just, you know, use that to get him to be beaten up by the enemies down there. Yeah, after you get into half, he'll start running and trying to bait you into all the enemies. And they aren't anything special. They're just, you know, ash versions of some of the other enemies. And that's pretty much all that's down here. Kind of lackluster of an area, in all honesty. I mean, a whole NPC invasion. You'd think it would be a little bit more, you know, thought out, I guess. I don't know. Still better than the still better than some of the other DLC areas. Looking at you, frigid outskirts. There's a chest, has the Majestic Greatsword, which is Artorias' Greatsword. So that actually has how you get this. This tower actually, you know, I kind of forgot about that. So this does have some useful stuff. But there is a lot of enemies in this area, as you can clearly see. There is quite a few. But that's pretty much all there is for this video, except for one last area that I've been purposely saving for last, because I think it's the area that people have never seen. So, after you kill the Duke's Freya, whatever point in the game you end up doing that, if I can kill her. So after you kill the Duke's Freya, and you eventually do get the Ashen Mist Heart, you can come back to the arena. Now, if you've probably noticed, if you looked up, that there is a dead ancient dragon here. And that's because the last area is actually the dragon's memories. Yeah, so once you reload the area, or after you come back, because you've probably killed the Duke's Freya before you even came here, there will be this crystal here, and examine it. You'll actually get a cutscene, which is pretty nice. And you'll enter into the crystal, or the dragon's memories, and be transported to a whole new area. And here is the dragon memories. This is, I think, pretty much, you know, way before Dark Souls 1. I mean, this is at the, you know, War of the Dragons, so this has to be, you know, way long ago. But it's pretty much this entire area. We are sitting atop of one of the cracked, or the arch trees, or, you know, the ones you see in Ash Lake, and all of that. And that's what is also surrounding us. This is basically during the War of the Dragons and whatnot. And you'll see the same dead dragon here. And, you know, this is how we will return from it and whatnot when we're ready. There isn't really all that much here. You go around, there's really nothing here. You know, but I think it is really cool to see this kind of area. And inside here, if you touch the dragon, you'll get the ancient dragon soul, which is what you use to make the ancient dragon curved sword, I believe it's called. But this entire area, I mean, besides this, there's literally nothing. You get to see this, you know, what the ancient dragons kind of look like actually in game, which I think is really neat. As someone who's a big lore nut first before the actual like gameplay of the games, I think this is really cool. Because before I started doing any of this, I was a huge lore nut like 4 years ago for these games. I still am today, but it was bad. But this is such a cool area that I think that I don't think anyone's like, I don't see anyone talking about this area. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. You know, you get a weapon here, but you know, I don't think a lot of people know that this area exists. When I first saw this area, I hopped out of bed because I was trying to go to sleep, and I got onto my PlayStation because I knew I had a character on there, and went and visited this area. I think it's just so cool. But that is pretty much it for this. Oh, you're not supposed to be here. I don't think. Did I? Are you supposed to be there? Take it out. I mean, you're not alive. I mean, your heart may be beating, but you're not alive. There's no fog wall either. That's gotta be a glitch. I don't know what could cause that. But this was a first for me on these types of videos, like these non-scripted kind of ones. I mean, obviously I'm gonna edit most of this out of the just, you know, blank stuff and whatnot, but I was really sick for most of my week. I mean, I was incredibly, like, I was in a lot of pain, so I didn't really have time to do anything this week. So I had this video idea in mind, so thought I'd make it at some point. So why not be now when I kind of just need something? So this was just the entire point of this was just I want to show off some areas that I think aren't touched on, both by the developers and by the community. Areas that are just kind of overlooked, you know, on a normal playthrough. If you're going here, if you're playing a normal playthrough, you're not exploring these areas, right? You're not going to weird corner of the map or weird area of the map number 4, or you know, these types. But God, she is weird looking now that I'm getting an actual look at her. I do not like you. You are gross. But I think it's really cool, and I think it actually shows a lot of the, you know, kind of weird parts of Dark Souls 2 that it has that are kind of, you know, maybe they're not fully fleshed out, but, you know, you can kind of see what they kind of would be if it actually was, like the dragon memories or whatever. I think this is a super cool and interesting area, or areas. There's not a whole lot of them, because, you know, most areas you would go to are pretty fully fleshed out or whatnot. But I feel like these are, you know, pretty substantial areas that you're not going to in every game. You're skipping over them. And they might not be interesting to you, but they're kind of interesting to me. And you could obviously make arguments about other parts of the game. Definitely, you know, maybe some areas in Harvest Valley or other places, but I just think these are kind of the big ones that stand out to me the most. But other than that, thank you for watching. This probably won't do as well, but I'm not really too worried about that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.